All right, if you're a university student thinking about a career in accounting, I bet you have a pretty specific image in your head. Well, I'm here to tell you that image is about to be completely redrawn. Seriously, let's dive into this because the entire world of accounting is going through this massive, massive transformation, and it's opening up one of the most exciting career paths you could imagine right now. Look, I know it sounds a little over the top, but it's a real question we need to ask. You gotta forget that old stereotype, the bean counter tucked away in some back office. The future of accounting puts you, an accountant, right at the center of solving some of the world's biggest challenges, especially around sustainability. Now, this is where things get really interesting. Between 2010 and 2020, the number of people even taking the CPA exam dropped by a whopping 39%. But here's the twist. This isn't a sign that the profession is dying. It's the exact opposite. It's pointing to a massive skills gap, a huge vacuum that's creating an unbelievable opportunity for new talent, for people with the right skills, your skills. So you might be asking, what's causing all this change? It's actually pretty simple. The fundamental roles of what makes a business valuable, well, they're being completely rewritten. Let's unpack what that really means for you. Okay, this right here is the absolute key. For years, reporting on environmental, social, and governance stuff, we call it ESG, it was basically a nice to have, something companies did for good PR. Well, that time is over, gone. We are now in an era where sustainability disclosure isn't optional, it's mandatory, and it's regulated. And this isn't just happening in one or two places, it is a full-on, coordinated global shift. You've got the International Sustainability Standards Board, the ISSB, creating a single baseline for the whole world. You've got the CSRD, which is the new rulebook for Europe. You even have national mandates, like here in the Philippines. The message couldn't be clearer. This is the new language of business, everywhere. And whenever you get new rules, you get a new role. This is where your career path really starts to look different from the past. You're not just a number cruncher anymore. You're essential business strategist. And this is the billion-dollar question, right? If a company says, hey, we cut our carbon emissions, how does anyone, investors, regulators, you, know that number is actually real? How do we stop what's called greenwashing? Well, the answer comes from the core discipline of accounting itself. The solution has a name: Internal Control over Sustainability Reporting, or ICSR. All this really means is taking that same super rigorous system we've used for decades to make sure financial numbers are accurate and applying it to sustainability information. This is how you build real trust and confidence in all that ESG data. So how does it work in the real world? This 3 lines model breaks it down perfectly. The first line is your management and operations folks. They're on the ground, dealing with these sustainability risks every single day. Then, the second line, that's where teams like finance and sustainability step in to provide oversight and check the data quality. And finally, the third line, internal audit, gives that independent stamp of approval so everyone knows the numbers are solid. So, what does this new career profile really look like? Well, the traditional accountant, they focused on historical financial numbers to report what happened in the past. But the new sustainability strategist, you're using all kinds of data, financial and non-financial, to actually shape what happens in the future. It's like you're no longer just reporting the final score of the game, you're on the field helping the team win. This new role, it definitely demands a new set of pretty high-stakes technical skills. And 2 of the most critical ones you're going to hear about are carbon accounting and something called double materiality assessments. These things need the kind of precision and rigor that accounting professionals are known for. Carbon accounting is not just guesswork. It's a highly technical, auditable process of measuring and verifying a company's entire greenhouse gas footprint. The best way to think about it is like a financial statement, but for emissions. It has to be accurate, it has to be complete, and it has to be totally reliable. Double materiality. Now, this is a really fascinating and crucial concept. It just means you have to look at risk and opportunity from 2 different directions. First, how do things like climate change create financial risks for the company? And second, how do the company's own actions impact people and the planet? You absolutely need both perspectives to get the true picture of value. Okay, so we've established the opportunity is huge. The role is super strategic. The big question for you is, how do you get ready for it? How do you actually forge the skills you're going to need to lead in this new world? The good news is your education is already changing to meet this demand. Universities are weaving ESG concepts into their courses, using local case studies to make it feel real, and building your skills not just in accounting, but also in things like data analytics and ethical reasoning. But let's be real. To truly stand out, to hit the ground running on day one, you need to build a bridge between your university degree and the super specialized skills that employers are desperate for right now. And that bridge, it's built with professional certifications. Okay, think of this as your roadmap to getting hired. These are the exact credentials employers are putting in job descriptions as we speak. You've got the IFRS Foundation's FSA credential, which is all about integrating sustainability factors. The AICPA has a great foundational ESG certificate. Heck, even Oxford has a program for high-level strategy. These are the tools that are going to make you an absolutely indispensable hire. All right, let's bring all of this home, because this isn't just about finding a job. This is about your chance to actually lead, to have a real, measurable impact on what the future looks like. And, the research backs this up. It shows that this shift really connects with your generation. Students today are actively looking for careers that have a purpose, that line up with their values. So this whole evolution in accounting, it's a direct response to that desire to do meaningful work. So what's the bottom line for you? It means you are perfectly positioned to be so much more than an accountant. You can be that strategic driver who helps a company create genuine, sustainable, long-term value, not just for the business, but for people and for the planet. So the key takeaways here are pretty clear. First, mandatory reporting is the new normal. It's not going away. Second, you've got to have technical rigor in new areas like carbon accounting. Third, digital tools like AI and data analytics are the engine making it all possible. And finally, that assurance mandate means ESG data will finally be just as reliable as financial data. This isn't a trend. This is the future. So as you're planning out your career, I want to leave you with this one thought. The world has a measurement problem. We desperately need a new generation of leaders who can measure what truly matters. Because at the end of the day, what gets measured is what gets managed. The only question left is, will you be one of them?